Hey everybody, so we're going to work out a little superhero today, so a little superhero selfie. So I want you to have some things to work with today. You need a paper to draw on, a scrap paper, because we might have to work a couple of ideas out before we get them on our paper, a pencil, and if you have it, a permanent marker, preferably a skinny one. If you don't have something like a Sharpie marker, you could use ballpoint pen, but if you're using watercolor with this later to color it in, you will need to test that on a scrap paper to see if it can handle being painted over. Sometimes they get pretty smeary. If you don't have any of those things, a super sharp crayon will work just fine for your outlining if you have some fine lines. Okay, so markers, crayons, watercolors, whatever you want to color this in with when you're all done. So when we're thinking about our superhero selfie, we've got to think about a couple of things before we get started. First of all, I think you should take a look in the mirror. What do you look like? Do you have long hair, short hair, curly hair, straight hair? Do you have really big eyes? Do you have blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes? What shape are your lips? What shape is your nose? So those are some things I want you to think about. I also want you to think about what is your superpower. All superheroes have a superpower. So what is yours going to be? So keep those things in mind, and as we get started, you can add in those details. So here's when I've started. I started it in pencil, and it's really hard to see when I draw in pencil on the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with my Sharpie. I'm going to outline some things that I drew. So it may seem like I'm skipping a couple steps, and so I might jump to my scrap paper here to kind of get you started off. And that's actually what I'm going to start doing. So I'm holding my paper sideways like a bathtub. That way I have more room for my superpower character traits. And this can totally be up to you. You can hold it the tall way if you want, and that's just, it's all your preference. You're the artist here, and you get to make some decisions. To get started with yourself, you need to draw the shape of your head, which is really just the shape of an egg. Surely you've seen an egg before. So it's wide at the top and smaller at the bottom. So this is what shape you're going to draw. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So this is the shape of my character's head. And I had a little misstep with my marker there. Nobody is perfect. And then you can put in your hairline. So I have long hair, and this is the shape of my hairline here. And I'm going to draw the outside of my hair. I like to draw a little bit of hair in first, just some broad details, because I think it helps me shape my face. So I have my hair covering my ears. If you happen to have shorter hair like this, you will be able to see your ears. You can place your ears beside your face just like this, and they're just little stretched out letter C's. No big deal there. Now when you're drawing the face, I always start with the nose because I think that's kind of a central point to being able to place all of the other facial features. So down the center, I'm going to draw my nose. It's sort of like a backwards letter J. And you can practice that on your scrap paper, maybe making it bigger. And then beside the letter J is a little letter U, and you can put a little dash line on the other side to show your nostrils. This is making our superhero look a little bit more realistic. Okay. Now I like to do the eyes next, and one eye is going to be on one side of the nose. Eyes are the shape of footballs or pointed ovals. And inside of that pointed oval is a circle that touches the top and the bottom. And inside of that circle is the pupil. That's the black part of our eye. When you're drawing it on the other side, You want to be careful not to put the eyes too close together. So you should be skipping the amount of space that looks like it's the size of the eye. So what does that mean? If I use my pencil, I can measure the size of that eye and then skip that space before I start the other eye. So there's my second eye, my circle on top, bottom, and pupil. Now I've got to draw some eyebrows. And I wear glasses, so I'm going to draw the frame of my glasses now. You'll have to look at your glasses to see what shape they are if you wear glasses. I couldn't be a superhero without my glasses. Okay. For the mouth, I think it's easiest to draw a line in the center first. The mouth is going to go halfway between the bottom of the nose and the chin. So I start with a curved line and I do the bottom lip, which is a little bit fatter than the top lip. And in the middle of the top lip is kind of like the letter V, right in the middle. So now I've got my face, I'm pretty happy with it. You need a neck. So depending on how your character is standing and looking, your neck might come down. So this is your person. Your neck's gonna come down on each side. It's a slightly curved line. And here's a good time to talk about hair too, so I don't forget. If you have very straight hair, this might be how your hair looks. If you're like my daughter Brinley, she's got this wild curly hair, you can start with gentle squiggles. And just some gesture lines in there. Okay. And if you're a boy and you've got short hair, it might look like this. You've got to look in the mirror and see what you've got. So my neck is sort of off to the side here because she's kind of looking over her shoulder a little bit. And you've got, if you want to draw your body, you know, remember that a body is basic shapes, and you can think of it like this. Your torso, that's the broad part of your body, is basically a rectangle, and your arms are basically rectangles. Okay, and your legs can come off of that rectangle. You can get somebody to model for you. And you can look at how bodies are shaped. So here I'm just going to outline some of my hair. Now my superpower is going to be sending my love to all of my students. That if I could have a superpower right now, that's what it would be. To let everybody know that I'm thinking of them. And to make them feel loved. And I think that's one of the ways we show that is through bright colors that make us feel happy. Here's my arm. So you have to think about, you know, what your superpower is going to be and how you're going to personify that. How are you going to show that in your art? Maybe you want to have your person wearing a mask. Do you know how the PJ masks, they have this kind of bandana thing here? You could be wearing this mask. You know, maybe you're a secret spy. I'm not sure. You'll have to use your imagination. So here's gonna be my arm. I'm avoiding outlining my rainbow here because I'm gonna use a little bit of crayon and paint for that. I have plans for that. There's my finger holding my paintbrush here. I just painted this rainbow. It's beaming. And of course I'm gonna have a cape. And this is just a flowy rectangle. Okay. So once you're happy with your drawing, you can spend some time outlining it with a marker and then getting it painted or colored in however you want. So I'm going to get started on my erasing and my painting. Remember that this doesn't have to look like mine. It does not have to look perfect. It can look silly, and whatever it is, it's just remember that art is supposed to be fun to make and you're supposed to enjoy it. Okay, here we go for color.